I'm gonna have okay. This will provide Brian with at least some video to work with for practicing his video editing.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, yes. Hey, welcome.
Hello.
Hello.
All right. Yeah, just Sam's working on some notes real quick.
Cool. No.
How's it going? Nice to have you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. It's going well.
All right. Do you have any questions before we start the show?
Usual stuff. Can I cuss?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. We pride ourselves on being very we want our guests to be very just genuine, and that's kind of the vibe we go for. Like we want to feel like friends, just casual around the table.
Yeah.
So
cool. Yeah, that's how ours is too. So thanks for having me too, by the way. Appreciate it.
Oh yeah.
No absolutely. A few weeks ago I ended up looking around through other podcasts that do similar things to us, and I gave yours a listen. I was like, okay, these guys seem like they'd be all right to have on.
Well, thank you. Yeah, Jen is a very busy person, so I wasn't too surprised when she was like, I didn't have time, so can you do it? And I was like, yeah, sure.
Sounds awesome.
It works for us, and it kind of spaces out the whole guest situation, because we try to have regular guests.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. That's cool.
All right, so I don't know if you've listened to the show at all, but basically our formula is we start with a bit of a cold open, so one of us will kind of usually me, will come in hot with a bit of a conversation, maybe a joke or a bit, to just kind of start us off, and anyone's welcome to really kind of chime in on that one. Then,
do you have any news this week?
We do, actually. Because Pathfinder decided that drow need no longer be in their lore.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't read too much into it, but I saw that. I didn't, yeah. Meh.
It's just okay, sure.
Okay.
I'll have some funny words for that.
Oh, don't worry. I'll riff. If you want me to riff, I'll definitely riff.
Oh, please.
Oh man. Yeah.
That's what the fans crave. And Sam, you said we were going to talk about aboleths?
Yes.
Ooh.
Oh, did you have anything else for the news so I could
just one other thing. Let's see here. Paizo, the people that make Pathfinder, also announced that they're going to remaster some Pathfinder books, and then the Mech and Kaiju adventures for Starfinder. So that's kind of neat.
That's cool.
I think that sounds very interesting. It's Wizards is kind of afraid to touch any Oriental adventure or adjacent things.
Yeah. I get it. I get the why, but also we need a good mech RPG. I played BattleTech back in the day, or Mech Warrior, whichever the non-video game version was. I've played them both, but I played the old RPG, their 3rd edition RPG, and it was awesome. So yeah, we need a good mech, and we need a good mech RPG.
Absolutely. We got a guy on our server that's all prepped up to run a Gundam campaign.
Ooh.
I'm hoping that'll turn out fun, because we got a bunch of players. They're just oh, we really want to get in a game, and our current campaign is just, it's at capacity. Sam can't take on any more players.
Yeah.
Especially with the way our players dip out kind of fairly often. Except for like we have our core players, which is nice.
Yeah. Got that core party of 4, then like, the occasional other players.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I prefer having a core party of 4. Like, that's my comfort zone. But at the same time, it's hard as a DM to tell other people, no, you can't play with us.
Yeah.
Ryan, what homebrew did you say you were bringing?
Let's see. I was actually bringing in some shot calling rules.
Interesting.
Yeah, a little variation.
Ooh, what are
It's simple, but like by having that part be small, we can kind of like go off on other stuff a little bit more casually.
Yeah.
For sure. What's your thing called so I can write it in here?
Just put the shot calling or calling shots. I wish we were a bit more ready for doing video podcasting because like that seems to be more popular on the YouTube space.
Yeah, it's good, but you also get those people who don't want to be on video, so you kind of lose out on a pool of people to interview and talk to and stuff. But for me, we don't we don't keep the recordings of our video. We just do our audio, but facial cues, things like that. It just makes it easier for us to talk to people. But
that's actually how we do things. Like we use Discord for that.
Yeah.
Am I forgetting anything here?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
No, it looks pretty solid.
No, I'm missing your description thing, and I think that's it.
All right.
Here.
Yeah.
So looking at the homebrew stuff, so it's even like the small stuff you're talking about too, right? Like,
yeah, exactly. Like with our homebrew segment, we like to highlight creators within the community, no matter how small they are, because it's just like there's so much homebrew out there that it just kind of gets swept under the rug, and like nobody gets a chance to really look at it.
Well, I mean, I do have something to talk about then. If it's like small stuff,
oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Something I use in all my games.
Nice. I do like house rules that DMs regularly use.
Yeah, it's a house rule from Deborah Ann Wool that I heard her mention once. I don't know if you know who that is.
I don't, but you know she's got to be good if you got to include the middle name.
Yeah, well, I'm sure. Have you seen the Daredevil series on was it Netflix?
Yes, I have.
She plays I forget her name in the show, but she plays like the assistant, the secretary. Her.
Cool.
She's a huge D&D nerd. She actually did a show on Geek and Sundry for a bit, but yeah, one of her her homebrew for Help Action that I like a lot. We can talk about that. And
actually, I really like that because like not only is it a good homebrew, like it gives a little bit of background into this person for the community, so that's really good.
Cool.
Okay, give me one more second and I'll be good to go. Just getting my notes together.
Right.
Cool, I got my picture for my homebrew and everything. Oh, I think you guys are gonna like this one. It's pretty fucking cool.
Exciting.
All right, I think I'm good. I feel like it's been a while since we've recorded.
It has been a busy couple of weeks.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, I think I'm about as prepared as I can be.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm ready.
All right. I got an idea for where I'm going to go with the cold open. So.
Okay.
Oh yeah, we didn't even talk about that at all. So like, I trust you.
I'm going to tell you about a little bit of advice I gave another DM one time.
All right.
Okay. So the cool thing about Libsyn here is it'll actually it'll count us in.
Mhm.
with like the 3, 2, 1.
Oh, cool.
So Sam, basically, I told this guy that you don't have to worry about getting a TPK in your first session, because like you know how a lot of new DMs kind of worry about that.
Yeah, about being too strong and killing their players. Yeah, I understand.
Well, you see, the cool thing about a TPK is it's a TPK. If the whole party dies, well, they're dead. And in D&D, there's a lot of different dimensions, lots of different realms. It's just death is only the beginning.
Very true.
So it's just like, go ahead, kill your party. Go for it, dude.
Yeah, you could have them come back as different races, different.
You know,
Soul fuckery can be done.
Just a party of revenants. Like maybe the patron fucked them over. They're all dead. They find out about it. And now the entire party has investment.
Right. Maybe a god is like, you know what? I like these guys. I'll swoop up their souls real quick.
Yeah. I like the cut of your jib, lad.
Yeah, pretty much.
Now, welcome to the 9th layer of the hells.
Yeah, exactly. Suddenly you work for a Baylor. Like,
it's always sunny in the Feywild.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so I definitely feel you. The death of your players doesn't have to be the death of your game.
Exactly.
Technically, the death of your players would be the death of the game. The death of their characters, not so much.
Okay.
Good point. And I bet you guys are wondering, who is that?
Who am I? I don't even know who
Random
I am.
disembodied voice. Oh my
That's
god.
me.
Well, we'll have to introduce him after we start the show. Dungeons and Talkshows, the show that brings you monsters, news, and something else, some other third thing right on the tip of my tongue.
Some mysterious, vague third thing.
Yes, I am your host,
homebrews.
Orion.
I am your host, Sam. Welcome back to this episode, guys.
And with us in studio today, we have a special guest. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Nick. I am a DM over at the Overprepared DM on YouTube, and we have a podcast everywhere you can find podcasts. Hi, I'm Nick.
Oh yeah, it's a podcast party in here tonight.
It is indeed.
Speaking of party, it is also Orion's birthday.
Woohoo! I'm getting old.
We're all getting older. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like to think of it as a celebration of just not dying.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, you made it, man. You're doing it.
Yeah. 29 consecutive years of not tripping on a pebble and falling into a ravine.
Oh, 29. He's just a baby.
I know.
25.
He's a wee one.
I'm 38. So for the past 8 years, I've lost count on how old I am, and every year it's like, wait, am I 36? No, I'm 37. No, wait, no. Shit, I forgot.
It's great. It's great.
Time is made up.
Well, in that spirit, Sam, I recommend to all the guys in the audience, because I've never met a woman that would take this advice. When you lie about your age, just tell everyone that you're 5 years older than you actually are, because then you get 5 years more respect.
Mm-hmm. See, my mom has been saying she's been turning 25 for the last 15 years. So, I don't even know.
Yeah, think about it. If you tell people that you're 5 years older than you actually are, they're like, "Oh wow, you look good for your age."
What?
Why, thank you.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, I would never have guessed. I would have pegged you for your current age.
You're like, what? Wow, what a crazy guess. Haha.
Yeah, it's just yeah, this is exactly how it is. And it just seems a little bit more fun because you're just always he's just so spry for his age. I don't know.
Welcome back to Dungeons and Talk Shows, guys.
So, Nick, tell us a little bit about your podcast.
Yeah, so the podcast, the Overprepared DM. It's me and my podcast partner Jen. We bring on guests, and we kind of try to focus on all the dumb things that DMs and GMs do when we first start running games. Basically, overpreparing. We talk about those things and try to like course correct early on, but. It's a lot of fun because if you're new to DMing and you listen to it, you'll be like, oh, so I don't have to write out every single scene that might happen.
Yeah.
You've got to learn to improvise. And if you're a vet DM, you look back and be like, oh, I remember when I was an idiot and did stupid things in prep. Yeah. So it's just it's casual, it's just a conversation, but we try to focus on that part of Dungeons and Dragons, and we always try to say, this is good advice for everybody: have a goddamn session 0.
It absolutely is. Like, I don't know if I've ever actually been a part of a session 0 that wasn't like super half-assed.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. Wait, what do you mean? Hold on. Wait a minute.
Uh-oh.
You bitch.
Got him.
I agreed with you. And
You did.
You've been in 2 of my session 0s.
Well, to be fair, when it comes to session 0s, like, it helps if the other players show up.
I mean, that's fair.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good point.
A huge part of it.
Honestly, getting your players to show up for a session period is half the battle. The other is bullshitting enough for them to stick around.
Hey, I'm just glad they're having a good time.
I feel that for sure.
It shows, they definitely show their appreciation, and I'm glad. And to players out there, please show your DMs some love
and be on time.
Yeah, for the love of God, DMs are players too, man. Like, we're there to have fun too, and players show up and they roll some dice, they write some notes, they kill dragons, and then they leave. And then after they leave, the DM frantically, hopefully, if you don't, I don't judge you, but you should, writes down notes after the session, and they plan for the next session. They get out minis, they prep virtual tabletops, they make maps. There's a whole thing that we do behind the scenes. Just fucking show up, please.
First off, I'm thinking, like, how many times I've had a session where a player is like, it's already like an hour and a half into the session, and they're like, oh, by the way, I'm not going to be able to show up. It's like, really? Yeah, there's this thing. I've been planning for it all week. And wait, you've been planning for it all week?
Yeah.
So you could have told me at any number of times this could have been mentioned.
Yeah. If I've taken the time to weave this like elaborate backstory for like NPCs that you created for your character and make them impactful and make you want them to live and survive the story, and then all of a sudden we're level 12, level 13, and we're playing once every 6 weeks now because you'd had a bad day for 6 weeks in a row, and it's like no one remembers. They've all forgotten. You've ruined the campaign.
It's very disheartening as a DM. Like I can say.
Yeah, I've seen so many campaigns fail that way. It's like they just kind of they peter out. Like the last one I ran, it kind of fell subject to that because we had so many missed weeks, and by the end of it, it's just like, you know what? I'll hiatus the whole thing if y'all get your schedules together and maybe have more time in the busyness. We can come back to it. And
ultimately, it's like, if you guys want this to happen, you gotta like show us who put in the work to make this happen. That like you want it to be a thing. Like,
Well, that's why as a player, I like to put in the work because I feel like it's a good respect to the DM.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get that very nice, cohesive DM player bond.
Absolutely.
For sure.
So is that like code for bringing snacks?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, as long as y'all bring those hog lumps, I'm good.
What?
I don't know if I want to ask.
Y'all ain't ever heard of hog lumps?
What even?
You know, chicharrones. I probably pronounced that wrong. Pork rinds.
Ah, okay, there you go. I got that one. Thank you.
Yeah, lump of hog.
That sounds interesting.
Oh, they come in all kinds of flavors. You got like the jalapeno cheddar. You got the salt and vinegar, spices, barbecue.
Yeah, they're like chips.
Yeah, except
they're pork rinds.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
They're chips made out of bacon things.
Yeah.
You love bacon.
I feel like anyone that really loves bacon in the audience is very offended right now, and that's okay.
What, calling pork rinds bacon?
Yeah,
I mean,
it's just the skin.
Yeah, it's the same spirit as calling a hot dog a sandwich.
I mean, it's not a sandwich.
I go back and forth on that one. I really do.
Look, I've been listening to a lot of Distractable lately, and they had a whole conversation about cannolis. and the whole time, I was just thinking, like, are burritos cannolis? Are Hot Pockets a cannoli?
I think the premise of what is a cannoli is how Italian is it?
The closer you get to pasta, the closer you get to a cannoli.
Yeah, like if you find yourself walking down the street and you see this and you're thinking, oh, marron, it's like, okay, yeah, it's a cannoli. I'm sorry if I don't know more Italian words.
I'm sorry if we have anybody who does speak Italian.
Yeah, sorry. Hyperbole is my first language. I don't speak Italic.
God.
Oh man.
All right, Sam, what do we got for the monster this week?
Oh, okay. So this week we have the Aboleth. I thought that'd be fun.
Ooh.
Go to a deep, dark, eldritch baddie to kind of coincide with your birthday, I guess.
What are you trying to say, sir?
You are a eldritch entity of unknown proportions, my friend.
I feel like you just called me fat. You know what? I got that dad bod. I can live with it.
Hey, dad bods are in right now.
They
Thank
say
God.
that, but like
I would say if an Aboleth were to take human form, they would have a dad bod.
All the bards in the audience, like you better
Do with that
lower
what you
those.
will.
Yeah, do with that what you will. Wait, can we just get like a college of the dad bod bard?
College of the golf club.
a bunch of dudes walk around with white sneakers on, telling dad jokes.
Khaki cargo shorts.
Their vicious mockery is
socks with sandals.
Oh no. What an image we've created.
His arcane focus is a spatula.
Vicious mockery is just them saying Ryobi is better than Milwaukee. And
yes. That's a dwarven argument right there.
Yeah, there you go.
Sam, what would you say? Would you think that dwarves are more like into are they like a DeWalt kind of people, or?
I don't know what a DeWalt is. Sorry, I'm illiterate. Can you explain that to me, please?
It's a tool brand.
Yeah. Yeah,
if you're a dad, raise your hand. Oh,
Oh,
that's
wait.
me.
They're the ones that have like the like yellow and black toolboxes.
Yeah. They're the
Yeah.
bumblebee looking ones.
Yeah. What I don't know tool brands, but they would have the ones that have the real like clunky hammers, you know? I don't know.
the clunky hammers.
Yes, that is my description of tools.
I'll take it.
So some people may be like, what the fuck is an aboleth, right? You know?
Nice ship.
So aboleths were a race of malevolent eel-like aberrations with potent psionic abilities. They were fish-like amphibians of immense size, often reaching 20 feet, 6.1 meters in length, and weighing up to 6,500 pounds. That's 2,900 kilograms. Move Discord out of the way. Sorry.
For a moment, I thought you said kilonewtons.
What the fuck is a kilonewton?
It's a measurement of force.
Yes.
No, I know newtons are a thing, but I didn't know they measured them in like kilo, you know, stuff like that. Interesting.
Wait, I could be wrong. Fuck, I might be retarded.
I'm not a whale biologist. So, so though they continue to grow as they age, some fantastically ancient specimens might reach 40 feet, 12 meters in length. They resembled a bizarre eel with long tubular bodies, as well as a tail at one end, and two fins near the head and another along the back. Aboleth's mouths were lamprey-like, filled with serrated, jawless teeth.
Jawless teeth.
Yeah, so like they didn't have a jaw; they just kind of had like. You ever seen
like an eel?
Yeah, like with those worms that have like just the rounds of teeth.
Yeah.
I think that's how worms are just in general. Like they just have like all these teeth right through there.
I don't know if they all do. I know some definitely do.
I'm
not a wormologist.
Yeah, if we can get some wormologists on the show to talk about aboleths, I'm down.
If your girlfriend turns into an aboleth, would you still love her?
No, but she'd make me because that's what aboleths do.
Aboleths are manipulative X's. Gotcha.
Oof,
very manipulative X's.
Oh, so the underbelly of an aboleth was often orange pink, while their top sides were usually sea green. A little bit back from the head were 4 long tentacles, 2 sprouting from across each other on the top. Yeah, so they had like branching tentacles. And they had 2 more of the same on the underbelly. Their heads were roughly triangular shaped with a spherical, somewhat beak-like nose. Interesting. Above the nose were their 3 eyes, each one sat on top of the other.
Dude, this is not at all what I've seen in depictions. Yeah. Like aboleth art doesn't seem that accurate. What is going on?
Yeah, they have
here?
like a Jenga tower of eyes. It's crazy.
Damn, my magic cards are wrong. I got like this aboleth spawn in one of my decks, and it's just like this doesn't match up.
Well, if it's a spawn, maybe it's different. Like a lesser aboleth or something.
Yeah, like a little baby.
Yeah, a little baby. So tendrils, wait, hold on. Tendrils and a few shorter tentacles dangled from the bottom of the head. 4 blue-black slime-secreting orifices lined the bottom of their bodies. Aboleth's blood was a green and thick, oozing like sap. Sounds disgusting.
So they're like a slug eel.
Yeah, they're like real slimy, probably.
You could probably have like a. You know what? When you have your players meet an aboleth, just have it like sneeze all over them.
Ugh. Just flings it on them. Gross.
This is how we say hello.
Have an aboleth come on your party. I'm sorry.
The most ancient and wisest of beings is just like, sup.
Sorry, that's just how we do things. And you know what? It's a what's the term for that monster classification? I think it's a aberration. So like aberrations are very alien in their mind. So like what they think is a perfectly acceptable hello is to everybody else is like, dude, that's fucking disgusting. Who just comes on another dude?
Yeah, like an aboleth, for all we know, if they meet somebody, they could be like, "Oh, I'm just gonna dive my full attention into your mind and give you like brain damage lobotomy," and they'd be like, "Oh, this is normal for us. Like we have no idea."
Yeah, I mean, come on, like lobotomies are basically a handshake. What are you talking about?
Right? Yeah, they're like, if you can't handle it, you shouldn't talk to us. Like that sounds like an aboleth thing. Oh,
Okay, I guess I'll have to not put aboleths in my games now. They're too dangerous.
so, aboleths breathe through a thick gray mucus-like substance, which covered their body and which they exuded from 4 pulsating organs along their body as they moved. If robbed of the ability to exude this slime, an aboleth would suffocate in water or on land. As such, an aboleth had to take care of its mucus. Out of the water, an aboleth's membrane like skin dried out quickly, but this did not prove fatal in and out of itself. Instead, the aboleth would eventually enter a state of suspended animation called long dreaming, a fate considered far worse than simply dying amongst aboleths. During this process, the so hampered aboleth formed a tough waterproof membrane. However, if this membrane was pierced, liquid flooded out and death was usually not far off.
Huh.
So interesting.
So it's basically like you got a little bit of frog, a little bit of worm, a little bit of eel.
Yeah.
Like it's taken like all of these kind of like creature type, like that entire section of the Discovery Channel is this creature.
Yeah, it kind of creates like a mucus or like a waterproof like cocoon around itself.
That's so bizarre.
Yeah,
it works.
You could find one, like your party could find an aboleth in this state. And like, ooh, that would be interesting.
There's potential there.
There is potential there for sure.
And they did not die of old age. And so they lived indefinitely outside of, disease and violence.
Did you get that jellyfish DNA?
Yeah, exactly. These are big boys. So getting into the ecology and lore here, they were extremely cruel and highly intelligent. As a result, they were among the most dangerous of foes that existed in the multiverse. Holders of many terrible secrets, thanks to their unique genetic memory, aboleths were born fully aware and with all the memories of their ancestors, making even the youngest aboleth a frighteningly deadly predator. They were all well aware of their weaknesses, however, and would not attack land-bound foes if they considered it to their disadvantage.
Damn.
You were going to say something?
Nick, have you ever run an aboleth in any of your games?
I have indeed.
Oh yeah, how'd that go?
Oh well, it went great because the party never saw the aboleth.
Ooh.
Yeah. They a few of the party succumbed to the enslave ability of the aboleth and kind of directed that campaign in a weird direction for a bit before that was taken care of, and that went away. But yeah, no, it was there was really fun to run because they saw all of the signs that you'd see going into an aboleth's lair or around it. They just the players didn't know what it was, and a few characters heard some voices, and next thing you know, they're kind of being guided and directed by this being that they just totally missed. They just walked by the giant lake and in the cave and didn't just ignored it, kept on walking, but they weren't ignored. So it was a lot of fun. Yeah,
that sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's a good time.
I like the concept right there because just like you can completely change all kinds of things with a campaign. Even if you have like a murder hobo party, like they can't murder hobo what they can't see.
Yeah. Murder hobos, mind control them.
You're gonna act right today.
Yeah. You're gonna learn today, boys.
Yeah, that's what I do with murder hobos. I don't like kill them outright. I don't do like the rocks fall, everyone dies thing. But I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, you guys keep burning down villages and killing innocent people, so now there's an army coming after you.
You're about to get hunted. Like,
all right, this is how this is gonna go. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm a big fan of throwing in rival adventuring parties and factions.
oh yes, that sounds like a fantastic idea.
So, like, if you throw in a party that's way stronger than your party, that can make for some very interesting interactions as the party builds a bounty for themselves.
Now your party's getting a vibe checked by another party.
And, like, all of a sudden, the murder hobos become the hunted, and, like, they'll know, like, just from, like, maybe you ease them into it. They only encounter, like, a couple out of the party. They get their vibe check, and then they see more coming. It's like, okay, we gotta go.
All right. No. Aboleths were utterly self-aware. They were among the first beings in existence and saw all things as theirs. They had a particular loathing for land-dwelling creatures. They were greatly unsettled by the similarly powerful mind flayers, in part because they lacked knowledge of the race's precise origins. Right, so I can imagine, this race that's been around since forever. They see this one race and they're like, we don't know where you're from. Like, that would probably piss them off.
Yeah.
I about imagine.
Especially megalomaniacs like Aboleth. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Wholly alien, but dangerously intelligent. Aboleths were among the most powerful creatures in all known multiverse, and often removed from human affairs. They did not hesitate at any point to kill or use any unfortunate mortals who crossed their path. Aboleth society was utterly alien in many ways to that of familiar races, in part due to the racial memory all Aboleths exhibited, as well as their generally bizarre psyches. Some Aboleths formed clusters known as broods, ruled over by powerful overseers. These broods were often accompanied by Aboleth servitors or other minions, such as the Kuatoa, who are known to sometimes serve. I think they were probably the most common.
Okay, first off,
other than
them being able to mind control Kuatoa is terrifying.
Yeah, that's very, very scary.
They are beastly when it comes to the things that they can do with their mind control. It's not something I would throw into like a short arc in a campaign. Like an Aboleth there needs to be layers. That needs to be like a big bad of its own mini arc or even an entire campaign. They are like mini Cthulhu's, if you will. They're bad. They are really, really cool.
Yeah, like you throw one of them on the back burner while the campaign's going on, and then like you get hints, little tidbits, slip it in here and there, like, something's going on. There's something more to all of this. And if an Aboleth has access to a tribe of Kuatoa, they can effectively create all the big bads your party could possibly fight.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Or even if you have that player who gives you the character backstory of my character has amnesia. They don't know where they've come from. They don't know, but they have this sacred mission from something. It's like, okay, that sacred mission's from an Aboleth. Yes.
Yeah. We got Russian sleeper agents in this campaign.
Absolutely. Oh man. Potential.
Yeah, sleeper agent PC. That's perfect.
Yep, and they don't even know. It's just the only person who knows is you. Yep, good times. You guys are probably getting an idea of how I run my campaigns.
I'm all for it. I love it.
I am generous with my darkness. So
yeah.
That's
very, very the vibe that I'm going for, since I am currently running a Grim Hollows game. So I love it. It's very, very nice.
Yeah, he's kind of growing into his darkness there, which it's a slow burn because like he throws out a lot of sidekicks and things that we're able to recruit, and we abuse that. So
yeah,
I like fun stuff.
Yeah, I think you get a lot of it from
I can kill later.
No, I think you get them from Stibble's Codex, right?
Right. Yeah, I added the Stibble's Codex in with my Grim Hollows game.
It definitely works, although I'm worried about Stonk with that ever-growing curse, because we haven't been able to cure it, so he's probably just going to transform and murder the party.
Right, who knows? For anyone who is interested in the Grim Hollow books, so anyone who may have read it, one of our companions is currently suffering the curse of foul blight. So, whoever knows what that means, wink wonk.
I know the name, but I'm not about to ruin it by looking it up.
But yeah, going back to Aboleths here. So Aboleths had no gods that they worshipped, naturally. They acknowledged the presence and power of gods, and they had memories of a long time before any modern gods were worshipped, and recalled such gods' births and often demises within their own lifetimes. They were not concerned with an afterlife, since their perspective on death was to consider it a failure, and that they intended to live forever. Aboleths did, however, have a certain respect that sometimes approached reverence for the powerful beings known as elder evils. So
Elder evils,
if that would be like maybe like a archlich or like a Draco Lich or something.
Oh
no,
no,
I'm
no,
thinking
no.
something bigger.
Yeah, bigger.
That's like Cthulhu,
Oh yeah,
type
but
stuff.
I'm not too familiar with what the Forgotten Realms elder evils are.
Like
Oh, they
like
don't
the
have.
They don't have any.
They don't have
okay.
anything on them. It's very much.
Damn.
I think they have some plans to like reach into it's stuff from the far realms. So like
I think
beholders are
Yeah.
mini elder. They're
Right.
they're the babies of the elder evils. So
I think this is a big part of why I'm vibing with Grim Hollow so much, because it is kind of this overarching eldritch like evil entity that's like the cause of pretty much everything.
Yeah, like actually it was glossed over a little bit in the last game I ran, because it hints at a lot of far realm things over the course of it. I guess for whatever reason they decided to utilize a lot of far realm situations for the Acquisitions Incorporated module.
Right.
And even because of that, I ended up having to do a lot of research on it and came up with not much as far as Forgotten Realms is concerned. Like, okay, you got the Great Old One, or like the I forget what the name of it was, but it's just like it's a being the being in the game I ran. It's just like pure chaos.
Oh, I think you're talking about like one of the creator gods.
Oh no, it's even older than that. It's like so old it's forgotten.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like if anyone were to really know about the Far Realms, it would be Aboleths.
Yeah, Far Realm shit is crazy, dude.
What I would say that you do is just pick up a copy of Call of Cthulhu 5e.
Honestly,
read it and steal from that. That's my wife runs Call of Cthulhu, so I have access to those books. So if I ever want to bring any of that stuff in, and
I have one too.
Yeah, that's kind of the vibe. It's very much like if the elder evil shows up, no one's winning. Everyone loses. It's not a good thing. There's no beating that. Even the gaudiest of gods be like, "Yep, we're out. We're gonna go create a new reality over here."
Right.
You all.
They were like, "Good luck, guys."
It's like, well, I was gonna like have some humans or some shit go and save the day on behalf of the gods and all our glory, but this thing showed up, so I'm out.
Yep.
Right.
Got nothing.
It's very interesting with the fact that like in the Grim Hollows books, the gods fought a war with the eldritch entities, and like we're able to slay maybe a few, but like ultimately got clapped. Like so I don't know. It's very interesting. I love H.P. Lovecraft and Call of Cthulhu and everything. So Aboleths are right up my alley.
Yeah.
I guess I'll be on the lookout for those in the future then.
Yeah. Another strange feature of Aboleths was their memory. An Aboleth was born with their memory, as I've said before. Furthermore, it assimilated the memories of all those it consumed. Each aboleth's memories were stormed with an ever-growing part of its brain that extended down its back as it aged. They enjoyed spending their time lost in particularly fine memories of their ancestors. If they had nothing better to do, they might relive entire portions of their forebears' lives.
Oh, wow.
I think so. This part is interesting. I found out how their reproduction works, as is my brand, I guess, at this point.
Are they asexual? I'm betting on
They
asexual.
are hermaphroditic. Yeah.
Oh, close enough, like worms.
Yeah, they possess both male and female reproductive organs. When they breed, they did so in private, laying roughly 1 to 3 eggs once every 5 years. When laid, the eggs gestated for the same 5 years before hatching into a fully functional aboleth. Although these young aboleths are functionally adults, they typically remained with their parent for roughly a decade, obeying the elder aboleth without question before setting out on their own.
All right.
Yeah. And unfortunately, while there may not be a direct real-world equivalent to the aboleth, its traits and characteristics resemble a combination of various aquatic creatures and mythological beings from different cultures. The aboleth's mind control abilities and malevolent nature may have been inspired by the mind-controlling parasites found in nature, such as fungus that affects ants and the hairworm that controls crickets.
That's wild.
I know, right? I was like, oh, that's cool. I gotta put that in.
Yeah,
I do like mushroom zombies.
Yeah.
That topic is always horrifying.
It is.
Dude, you watch documentary on those things, you're like, nope, nope.
I watched one recently. I was like, holy fuck.
Nope.
But yeah, that is all I have for aboleths today.
I'm not even going to give that an IRL fight score because that's just a nope right out of the gate.
There isn't one.
Yeah. If that wasn't in the real life, no, that's we're all living in its simulation at that point. There's no, yeah.
Puppet master, it's doing it all.
Elon was right all along.
Aboleths are the government. Let's be real.
I mean, when it comes to D&D, there's so many things that can just run an entire empire without anybody ever noticing. Aboleths being the biggest of players in that. Then you got like mind flayers, and then you got green dragons. Stuff like that.
Yeah. Which is always fun to have the the wizard behind the curtain, the Oz character in the back ruling everything is, there's no sign of it at all until the players start digging in a little bit. And what a way to get them like hooked on a storyline when they figure something out and then they're like, ooh, let's go take care of that. You're like, yes.
Yeah. Everybody loves exposing the shadow government.
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
Or taking it over.
When there's a power vacuum, who are we to not fill it?
That's a good point.
It's the American way.
The opportunity is there.
All right. So that all you said that's all you got for the aboleths then?
That's all I got for the aboleths.
There is I'd say there's infinite potential there. I wouldn't even know where to begin because they legit, they control everything.
The information on them is very representative of their potential.
I would say so.
You could really put it to the test, do whatever you want with it.
Yeah, for sure. Think outside the box. If you're going to use one, think outside the box.
First,
full Jedi mind tricks.
First, I'll construct a box just so that I can think outside of it.
It's like, what box?
You guys have boxes?
All right. Moving on, do you have any news for this week?
Well, like I was telling you before the show, apparently Pathfinder is hitting the ejection button. They're kicking the drow out. They're sending them on the Trail of Tears, the Walk of Shame, Sam. No more drow in Pathfinder.
You didn't just say Trail of Tears. Oh no. But it's so accurate. Yes, you guys heard right. They are trying to remove our precious drow.
Yeah. So we got an article right here from Dicebreaker. Pathfinder is evicting drow from its official lore, according to designers of the fantasy tabletop RPG. Okay, I'm gonna skip some of that because, like, come on, writers, you gotta calm down with all this stuff that you don't need.
It's like reading a recipe on the internet. Yeah,
basically.
Yeah,
I don't want to read
just,
your blog. Just tell me why.
Yeah, just get to the point. Yeah, we know who Paizo is. That's why we're reading it. It's like when they did the OGL and every article had to explain who Wizards of the Coast is.
Yeah.
You're so right.
The people who care already know.
It's kind of like when you're watching a Batman movie and they hit you with and then his parents were killed in front of him. Wow, shocker. I would never have guessed that Batman's parents were shot. Next, you're going to take the time to show me for the upteenth time Peter Parker losing Uncle Ben.
Yep. Which they haven't done yet in the MCU, which has been nice.
It's a reprieve, and I'm savoring it.
Yep.
So, let's see right here. Drow in the Darklands will be largely replaced with serpent folk. What the fuck?
You want tea?
I mean...
No, it says serpent folk, a reptilian race that will fill the narrative role of villains.
So you want tea?
Well, I guess they're trying to. Avoid saying want tea because OGL stuff probably.
Yeah, probably.
Or maybe they're going for more like an Argonian angle.
Maybe.
Either way.
But like the drow function is like the dark elves. What are they gonna do for the dark elves?
I don't know. But like maybe it's a good thing. I mean, I've heard so many people like go off on massive tangents. They're like, everyone says that drow are evil. That's racism. It's like, dude, they're dark elves. They got gray skin. This is not another stand-in for black people. We already have black people in D&D.
They don't have to be a race thing. They're just the people that been through it. Like, why you gotta equate them to us? Like, I don't understand. You're the one making it a race thing.
I hear it so often. It's just like, sometimes I got to step away from the Twitter for a minute because it's cancer.
Yeah, and I think it's the vocal minority. That's a lot of what it is. People yelling the loudest kind of thing. Yeah. But really, it does go back to like the origins of a lot of these races and in these fantasy TTRPGs where they are like canonically they're the bad guys. That race of people are the bad guys. But I get how that shouldn't work. But at the same time, don't take them out. Just give your players the ability to give your GMs, people who run your games, the tools to like give it a reason why most of their societies are bad and why, and maybe it's not just the race.
Like not every race is gonna have a happy history or a happy lore. They're gonna do some fucked up shit. Yeah. They're gonna be through some fucked up shit. You know what I mean? Like,
oh, absolutely. Like, dude, did you know that in like canon Forgotten Realms lore, like the reasons that Dragonborn hate dragons is because when they came to this plane from the primordial plane. Maybe it wasn't the primordial.
It was their own world. It was a different world.
Yeah, there was an entire separate world that was ruled by dragons, and the Dragonborn were slaves.
Yep.
And it's like, of course, dragons are going to keep slaves. They're fucking dragons. They don't give a fuck.
Very dragon thing. They'll keep human slaves. They don't care. Like,
yeah, they're just. They need someone to do the work. They're sitting on a pile of gold. That pile of gold ain't going to sit itself.
Exactly. Someone's got to sit on it.
Sitting up here, management material.
I'm going to let you count my gold?
Nah, that shit's wild. But it looks to be that a lot of the reason that they're taking them out is because of the OGL debacle. So they're trying to like maybe Drow are not covered. So they're like, okay, we're gonna kick that out, kind of avoid a lawsuit, and kind of move on.
But see, now it becomes a thing. If you take out Drow, then you're gonna have to hit so many other races. Like,
yeah, it's like, is it a slippery slope?
No reason. Like, yeah, it's such a slippery slope because now they're gonna be like, well, if you take out Drow, what's up with Dragonborn, or like, I don't know, other races, halflings or changelings or something.
I don't know. I mean, it's weird because Pathfinder is built on the back of 3.5.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't even know.
Yeah.
Seems unnecessary, you think?
I think a lot of the tabletop stuff we've seen these past year has been largely unnecessary.
Like, I can understand, they're cautious, maybe towards the wrong things.
It's our fault, guys. It's our fault. You know why? You know why it's our fault?
Why?
We made D&D profitable.
Yep.
Yep.
That's what we get for liking.
We made it profitable. It became fun. We told our friends that it was cool. It became mainstream. And then all of a sudden, now that it's mainstream, we have to clean it up and make it look presentable.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't want to clean it up. I like my yard full of tires.
Exactly. I want to have the choice to put toxic waste in my lawn, If I want to
That's how it glows.
In my neighbor's lawn, I should be allowed to. I don't need the HOA, Wizard of the Coast, come in and trying to tell me I need to mow my grass.
Wizard of the Coast telling you can't piss off your back porch.
Oh, close your door if you're going to drink in the doorway. Oh.
That's the long and short of it.
Yeah.
But we do have that was the bad news. Then we got some good news right here. So Pathfinder Redemption arc, baby.
Oh yeah! All right, bring it back.
Okay, so they were with their Pathfinder Starfinder situation. They're bringing back. They're kind of like redoing a bunch of books, and with that comes Mech and Kaiju Adventures for Starfinder. So Starfinder is like the space variation of the Pathfinder. So it's kind of like how like everybody wants that. I forgot the word.
Futuristic.
Maybe futuristic, but I'm thinking more along the lines of Don't you hate when you're at a loss for a word? It's like on the tip of your tongue.
It'd be like that.
Dystopian? Are you going dystopian?
No, not dystopian. Just like space. Like a D&D. Spelljammer. Like everyone likes that classic D&D Spelljammer situation. You got your space, you got your ships, you got all this crazy wacky shit. And Starfinder kind of like puts that in where it's got to be. Like you got a little bit of that Star Wars vibe.
So it's kind of like Spelljammer.
Yeah. More or less. A lot of people I've talked to really like it.
That's cool. I don't think I've heard of it before just now. So cool.
Yeah, it's got the same general build, but like right here we're looking at they're making new adventures like the Sky King's Tomb, Lost Omens across the they got all kinds of crazy stuff that they're doing with mechs and kaiju. So that just sounds very fun in general. Like
I wonder if he'll use the person who's running our Gundam campaign, if he'll use this for that.
I highly recommend it. I mean, Starfinder might just be the ticket.
Seems like it would fit.
It's similar enough to systems that our players across the server have used. And like you can have mechs, so it can be like a whole Gundam Evangelion situation.
Nice. Oh my God, we could have a. Hold on. Drawing a blank. Gurren Lagann campaign.
That actually sounds amazing.
Drill to pierce the heavens.
Damn. See, that show was ahead of its time. Like, people nowadays are all like, dude, I need ways to get all this testosterone. Just watch Gurren Lagann. You'll triple your testosterone levels overnight, my guy.
That's all you need. Watch an hour of Kazuma. Good.
Yeah, it's like dude, just imagine how many trans folk could benefit from Gurren Lagann.
You know, my best friend, his favorite anime is Gurren Lagann. He loves it. He's a tattoo and everything.
He's got a tattoo and everything. Betty's got a beard.
Does he have a beard? I have to text him. I'll get back to you on this.
I don't need sleep. I need answers.
I'll get back to you on this.
Dude, I am all in for the mech and kaiju because, like, if you're gonna have a mech situation, you need giant things to fight, and that's where the kaiju come in.
It's
Dude, a kaiju campaign would like Pacific Rim. Oh my God!
Yes, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, that would go so hard.
Pacific Rim is underrated.
Very, very underrated.
You know what also sounds really cool?
What?
Real Steel.
Real Steel. I feel like I've heard this.
Robot boxing.
Robot boxing. Okay, that sounds all right. All right.
That movie was so cool.
It makes me think of that boxing anime where, like, they didn't have to do it, but they strap like these exoskeletons to their arms, and just their arms. Like, why? So not only are you punching somebody, which in boxing you're already dealing brain damage to your opponent, but no, we had to add an exoskeleton for more damage.
And you got like a hydraulic piston, like punching someone in the head.
It's a good show, but just why?
Oh man!
Like, I could understand if you're like a construction worker and you're like, okay, this wall's got to come down. Okay, get the hydraulic arms. Here we go. Pa-pow, pa-pow. Got him.
Pa-pow, pow.
Yeah, that's what pistons make when you're strapped on, right?
That makes me think of the Fallout weapon. You know, you have, I forget what it's called, but it's like basically what we're talking about. It's just like a glove. With
I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's just so unnecessary, but it's great.
So good. Oh man.
All right. So, let's see here. Nick, I looked at your Twitter thing earlier. So it says you were a veteran?
Yeah, I am.
Hey.
Have you ever played D&D while in the military? I know lots of guys that do.
No. I was in before it got as cool as it is now. I think it when did 4E come out?
That's like
Was that like
2012, I think.
Yeah. So I got out of the Marines in 2011. So, you know, yeah, we weren't. One, we didn't have the time. And two, we were all too cool for D&D at that time. So I thought I was.
Fair. I was so nerdy.
Yeah.
I get that. Like, I do know this one Marine. He's like in his 60s right now that used to play, and like he used to be like super proud of like his I think it was a drow. It's some female drow that would just be slicing shit up like a warrior or whatever. He'd be telling me stories when I was working with him, and real nice guys. Like, dude, old man Skip has got war stories and D&D stories. It's great. The most fond memory I have with this guy is just like I sold him a shirt Because like the biggest thing we have on our website for t-shirts is the anal probe survivor, because it got the little spaceship on there, the little awareness survivor ribbon on the sleeve, and like he'd be going around the factory telling people about it, like, I like that anal survivor shirt. It's like, whoa, slow down, Skip. You're missing some key context.
Yeah, we really got to get some Nerd Militia merch.
Next step, Sam. Next step.
No, I was wondering if we had any like listeners that maybe were artists or so that wanted to submit some designs. Definitely hit us up in our in our DMs.
Well, that would definitely be interesting.
Yeah, right. It's gonna be cool.
All right. So moving on to the losing my place and train of thought. So what have we got for homebrew this week, Sam?
Homebrew this week, I have chosen to dive deep into the mysterious wonderware trove items.
Well, there's only one answer to that. Homebrew time.
Yes. So I went to crossheadstudios.com, hopped onto their mysterious wonderware 2.0, and I'm checking out some of their items, pretty cool things.
A little window shopping.
Exactly. One stands out to me, and it is sorry if I don't say this right, Fly-A-Mat. It is a flail, but with 3 heads of Tiamat.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're selling me.
Yeah, right. So this is a flail weapon. Legendary, requires attunement. Has a +2 attack and damage rolls, and has an additional 1d4 lightning or poison on damage, your choice. The flail has 5 charges and remains 1d4 +1 charge daily at dawn. Each property consumes 1 charge. So you have Dragon's Breath. As an action, use one of the 3 dragon's heads. The red or green head affect a 45-foot cone, and the blue head a 90-foot long line that is 5 feet wide. Each creature must make a DC 15 dexterity saving throw, taking 9d8 fire damage, lightning, or poison damage on a failed save. Half as much on success. So you also have Tiamat's Bane. As an action, you cast the Bane spell. It's Bane spell. The save is the DC 15, which affects any number of creatures within range. And last and not least, you have Dragon's Presence. Each creature of your choice that is within 120 feet and aware of it must succeed on a DC 15 Wisdom saving throw or become frightened for 1 minute. A creature can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of its turns, ending the effect on itself on a success. If a creature's saving throw is successful, or it ends naturally, the effect or the creature is immune for the next 24 hours.
All right. That's really interesting. Like that's got a lot going on. Really useful. I think if I was to make a single change to it, where it's got 3 heads and Tiamat's got 5, like maybe do a little bit of rolling to see what kind of dragon head each one is, and then that determine damage types.
You could, but I mean, I don't know. I kind of like it being like the static colors. You got the 3 kind of, lightning, fire, poison. Like,
yeah,
pretty standard.
Yeah, but what if you had like acid, poison, lightning? Like, ooh.
Yeah.
I would
maybe you can upgrade it.
Yeah, I would say I would make it levelable. You get it, level 2 or whatever, and it's just gotten 1. Right?
Yeah, maybe there's upgraded stages where you can eventually
more heads grow. So at level 20, it's not so broken. You got your 5 Tiamat heads on the weapon.
Really cool, actually.
Maybe you get it as a kind of like a boon type gift from Tiamat, and then
like part of your class. Something.
Yeah, you get it from Tiamat directly, and as you gain in her favor, she gives you additional heads.
Ooh, I like that. Maybe it starts out like a whip. You just have the 1.
Yeah. that'd be whipping around all like what is it that one character in Smash, the chick with the long arm and the little dragon thing,
Yeah.
pew pew.
From what was it called?
Min Min.
Arms, yeah.
Min Min from Arms.
It was fun, even though I only played the demo.
The demo gotcha.
Yeah, I did. That was that's my homebrew for this week. Kind of a short one, but I think it's pretty cool.
Not bad.
If I was a player, I would want this.
I'm gonna give that like a solid 8 out of 10 because it's good, it's powerful, unique. But I think like we said, to really get the most mileage out of it, you got to homebrew up a little bit. But that's not so bad.
I think having essentially 5 uses of Dragon's Breath goes pretty hard.
It does.
You could have like if Shmev's Shadow got this, our barbarian, he does his normal attack round, and then he extras attacks Dragon's Breath. Oh man!
I mean, he already does that because I walk up and give him the the locker room spank of Dragon's Breath.
Yeah, but now he can do it on his own.
He don't need me no more.
You could put it on our cursed cat instead or something. I don't know.
Yeah, just curse the cat, throw it like a football, Dragon's Breath everywhere.
That's all I have for my homebrew this week. I give it about a 9, I think. I like it.
That's pretty good.
I'm just a dragon boy living in the dragon world.
All right. My homebrew is very, very small. It's just a shot calling table because traditionally you don't call shots in D&D, but you always get those players that want to, and marshals they need a little bit of nudging to be a little bit more fun sometimes,
Yeah, definitely.
Why wouldn't you be able to just nail someone right in the nose? All right, so the calling shots table, whenever you score a critical hit on an attack roll, you can forego doubling your damage dice and instead apply a different effect based on the body part you hit. If a creature doesn't have that part, you can't hit it. Okay, fair enough.
Interesting.
So we got nose, leg, wing, fin, arm, palm, and head. Yeah, pretty diverse. So with the nose, target's blinded for a round. So imagine you're a monk and you get a flurry of blows, pretty likely that you got a higher likelihood of getting that crit in. Mm-hmm. So you get him right in the nose, boom, blinded for a round. Hit him in the leg.
What
base
is
walking speed.
You said it's an item?
No, it's just a rule. It's like a little table that the DM can use.
Oh, right. Okay. I understand now. I was like,
because the thing about marshals is they get more attacks on average.
Yeah.
So this will give them more effects for their attacks if they crit. So it's like, okay, you crit, then you can call your shot. It's like, okay, I want to get him right in the nose, blinded for a round, get him in the leg.
I always try to do that.
They're with the leg, walking speed is halved until a long rest. The wing, flying speed is halved until a long rest. Fin, swimming speed halved until a long rest. Arm, target has disadvantage on attacks with two-handed weapons for a round. Palm,
makes sense.
Next weapon attack the target makes is with disadvantage. The head, the next spell attack the target makes is with disadvantage.
Man, I feel like we need something more than disadvantage, something other than disadvantage.
Yeah, but I think that's not bad as far as within the confines of 5e.
Oh no, definitely, yeah.
Yeah,
I think all these. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so usually when a player is trying to call a shot, they're trying to, take away a monster's ability to do something in the long run, right? So it's like whenever something like that happens in my campaigns, I always, you got to sacrifice a lot to get that, right? So
yeah,
it's going to take both your attacks, or it's going to be disadvantage, whatever we decide on in the moment. If you're trying to get my dragon to not be able to fly, we're gonna have to do some hacking on this thing. You're doing half damage to the dragon, whatever it might be. Just because usually, while those are cool, it's like a temporary effect. Usually, the players trying to do, rule of cool. They're trying to do something cool to help out the fight. They've got themselves in a spot where they think they can alter the monster in the long term, so the fight is better for them. So as long as they're willing to give a little bit, and then I'll let the dice decide, right? We'll see how this goes, kind of thing.
Absolutely. Like, I'm one of those players where it's just like, okay, I'm willing to fight dirty and make something happen and get creative. So being able to get rewarded for doing stuff like that is right up my alley. It's like, okay, I'm absolutely willing to give up a little just to be like, okay, let's take out one of the dragon's wings, reduce its fly speed, get it down here so we're not getting like swiped from the sky as much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
definitely.
All right. So on that note, do you have any other kind of like a homebrew type rules and things that you kind of run for your tables?
Yeah, I have a house rule that I stole from Deborah Ann Wool, who's an actor. She's in Daredevil. She was in oh God, I thought of it earlier. The vampire show from
True
10
Blood?
years ago. True Blood, that's the one. That's
Hey,
it. Yep,
I love True
yep,
Blood.
Yep.
Oh,
She was in
really?
True Blood. Yep.
That's awesome.
Huge D&D nerd. She's ran shows, games for Geek and Sundry. She has her own thing going on now too. But something that I use in every game that I run. So in D&D 5e, the help action, right? You use the help action, you give somebody advantage on their roll. Well, her rule that I use, I think everyone should use it. D&D should just replace it with this. Her rule, instead of giving advantage, you then can add the other character's modifier to your roll as well.
Ooh.
So
Efficiency?
whatever the role is. So so the idea is, the thing I always explain to my players, like the barbarians trying to hold open the closing doors that are going to smash people as they're going through, right? Why would a wizard with 8 strength give you advantage?
Right, like what is he doing to give
What
you?
are they doing? They're just in the way at that point, kind of thing. So, it makes the players be more creative with who's going to help out with things. Makes them actually use their characters more. So, if you're investigating something, you're trying to do an investigation check to figure out a trap or whatever, you're not going to have the barbarian come help.
Yeah. If anything, they're a detriment at that point.
Exactly. So you let the actual useful ones use their usefulness versus just giving whoever whatever advantage on a roll. Just yeah. So just a little house rule that I like to throw in and let people know about.
Yeah, that's kind of similar to a house rule that I like to do. Although I would say that yours it rewards who helps at a given time, and I'm loving that. Like with the one that I use, it's a situation dice, so it's just like instead of just straight advantage, it'll be like, okay, it treats advantage as like different stages of dice. So your first stage, okay, you're going to add a D4 to that roll, and then if you got 2 instances of advantage, okay, that D4 gets bumped up to a D6. Which
I like this. That makes a lot more sense to me.
Yeah, because statistically, a D4 is a +2. Bare minimum, you're getting a +1. At best, you're getting a +4. But statistics-wise, it's going to be on average a 2. And in previous editions, like 3rd edition or 3.5 or whatever, if somebody's helping out with something, typically you're going to get like a +2 or a +3 or sometimes even a +4 to something. So this kind of meets that halfway point between having the advantage, which means you're rolling more dice. Everyone likes to roll more dice. Meanwhile, you're still getting that bonus that kind of, it rewards players for working together because you got, okay, if you're working out a plan, how many times do you see a situation in a game where it's like, they got 3 instances where they have advantage on this one target in a fight, but you only need the one.
Right, it happens all the time. At least in our game, you know.
Yeah.
We got like fairy fire going off. We got like all kinds of shit.
Yeah, it's like, okay. Yeah. So you got flanking and fairy fire. Those are 2 things that give advantage. It's like, but you're not rewarded for being tactical at that point. Because you already got the one. That's all you need in your standard rules. But with this, it's like, okay, if you got those 2 instances of advantage, then boom, D6. That on average, that's a +3. At best, that can be a +6. And I've seen somewhere that statistically, the advantage equates to about a +5.
Yeah.
So this, like, after you get enough instances of players working together to create a big advantage and work your way up to, like, maybe even a D12, there's big reward there, possibly.
I can see it.
Yeah, for sure.
And just a little something that I do.
I think on that note is a good moment to head into our quick intermission break.
All right.
We'll be right back, guys.
Cool.
Well, I had a little bit that I was going to do, so. Let's scroll for it. I'll have our editor kind of fix this in post.
Gotcha.
Introducing the Gobsmacker's Guide to Grotesque Goblins. Are you tired of battling the same old creatures in your Dungeons & Dragons campaigns? Are you yearning for a unique challenge that will leave your party speechless? Well, look no further than the Gobsmacker's Guide to Grotesque Goblins, the ultimate gag product for daring dungeon masters and adventurers alike. Prepare to be astounded as we delve into the minds of these cunning, mischievous creatures. This innovative guide offers an unparalleled level of insight, utilizing cutting-edge research and the unyielding dedication and the art of self-examination. We've employed the most brilliant goblinologists, linguists, and psychologists to bring you a comprehensive exploration of the bizarre world of goblins. Here's a sneak peek into what you'll find inside. Psychological profiles. Uncover the twisted motivations and behavioral patterns of goblins. Learn why they steal shiny objects and develop strategies to outwit them at their own game. This section will make you question whether goblins are merely misunderstood or truly malevolent. Goblin Language Primer. The master the art of like the goblin speaking. Decode their guttural grunts and screeches in our in-depth guide to the goblin linguistics. Impress your friends and intimidate your foes with the newfound ability to communicate with in the most peculiar of ways. Goblin fashion secrets. Ever wondered why goblins dress in rags and tattered clothing? Discover the surprising sartorial preferences of the goblins and unlock the secrets behind their questionable fashion choices. You'll never look at the patchwork cloak the same way again. Cooking with goblins and cuisine. Explore the culinary world of goblins with our collection of recipes, stomach-churning delicacies, and some deep-fried spider legs to boiled rat stew. These repulsive dishes will challenge even the most adventurous of taste buds. Warning, not for the faint of heart or faint of stomach. Goblin traps and pranks. Turn the tables on your players by learning the art of goblin-style trickery. This section is filled with devious contraptions, clever traps, and mischievous pranks that will keep your party on their toes. Remember, it's all fun and games until one steps on a squeaky toy. The Gobsmacker's Guide to Grotesque Goblins is not responsible for any property damage, emotional distress, or existential crises that may result in misuse. Use with caution and a healthy dose of skepticism. So what are you waiting for? Dive into the twisted world of goblins with this one-of-a-kind gag product and unleash your inner goblinologist. Remember, sometimes the most unexpected journeys can lead to the greatest discoveries or utter chaos. Choose wisely.
And we are back.
Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Hello.
That was a nice one.
That was a mouthful.
Take a breath. Take a breath.
I'll take all the breaths. Ah, damn.
Hope you guys enjoyed the quick break. Get some snacks, coming towards the end here.
One step at a time.
All right, I think next we have your DM's Descriptify of the week.
Descriptify. I keep saying that I'm going to make a stinger for that, but then I don't. Like, I've had the time.
Too much Diablo, huh?
Perhaps. Diablo 4 is calling the name of everyone this week.
It's true. It's definitely been calling mine. Have you been getting into it, Nick?
No, I don't have that kind of time anymore.
That's fair.
I have a 5-year-old, so
I feel that. Like, the only reason I know anything about it is because the everyone on the server is buzzing about it, and then my wife's like, "Oh, I want to play." It's like, "Yeah, sure. I'll wrangle some chillins for you while you do that."
Right. And me and her played a little bit earlier. That was fun. I just heard in the background, "I'm gonna die."
That was great. So the descriptive word we got this week is, you've probably heard this before, the anteroom.
I have not heard that before.
Well, I've been listening to a lot of fantasy audiobooks recently, specifically The Ranger's Apprentice. If y'all haven't read or listened, it's like really good. Check it out. I've been using Audible for that.
What's the genre?
It's kind of a fantasy situation, because the Ranger's Apprentice, you got like this young ranger type character. He starts out learning all the tricks of the trade, the bow, the tracking, the hiding, the sneaking, knife throwing, all the nature-y shits. Like, it's pretty cool.
Oh yeah. No, I listen to a lot of lit RPG books, very video game like. And, the one I listen to currently is called Primal Hunter, and it's funny that you're talking about an archery book, because the character in that is an archer, and he's in this video game world, kind of, and he's like leveling up his skills, and he has this expert archery. It's getting pretty interesting.
Well, they always try to like get that level grindy thing. I guess the fantasy of like being able to live the grind in a measurable way. But
I think it's very appealing.
Yeah. Essentially, what I was getting at here with the anteroom is it's kind of common in a lot of castles, and like maybe you got like a baron situation or like important nobles in your D&D game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's very typical for important people like that to make you wait in what's called an anteroom, which is a outer room that opens into another room, and it's essentially a waiting room. Like, imagine like, okay, the party has to go meet with the baron, and the secretary brings them to a room, knocks a couple times, and then they're allowed into a waiting room, which is just kind of pompous on its own. Like, oh, great, you went through all this just to make me wait some more.
It's a total power move.
Exactly.
That's exactly.
They're not doing anything in their actual room. They're just making you wait because
They
they're
can.
dicks.
Like, yeah.
Yes.
Like,
And that's exactly what the anteroom is. Like, in any situation I've read about or listened about, it's just the anteroom is always used as a power play over the person that's supposed to be coming in to, like, oh, you were called here at this time for a meeting. Not only are you on time, you were there early. You're not allowed into the anteroom until it's time, and even then, they make you wait half an hour.
You could be like you're finally let into the anteroom, and it's immaculately decorated. There's fucking gorgeous tapestries and all this pompous bullshit. Like,
Exactly.
to really drive home the fact of like you're not getting your way here. Like,
yeah, maybe have like one or two characters in the party, like make an insight check, and they're like, "Whoa, what do you mean an insight check? Is there anyone around?" Like, no, this is to determine like what the intent is here.
Yeah, the atmosphere of the room or whatever.
Yeah, you could convey a lot, and like if you have a particularly role play heavy party, this is a chance for like maybe they're being eavesdropped on. Maybe the people that they're supposed to meet are listening, so maybe get some words thrown back that they weren't supposed to be heard. You know.
Mm-hmm. All right. I always love doing things like that. People have like their own conversation, and then someone else joins and they use a word that they said, and they're like, "Holy fuck, they were listening!
They were listening the whole time. I was always here.
Always watching, Wazowski. Always watching."
Oh man. But Ryan, tell us about your birthday, man.
It's been a day. Like I had a birthday nap. I feel like as a father of 4, a birthday nap is a thing.
That's the only real gift you need.
I would say so. On that topic, though, my wife did proceed to she's got me like a thing for my hammock so I can actually hang it up, because like any spot where I could hang it up is too far away from another spot. So it's like,
how do you know that's what I got you?
See, exactly what we're talking about. Eavesdropping. No.
Yeah, that eavesdropping. I swear, listening to like the Ranger's Apprentice has got me like on a ranger kick, where it's like, oh, I gotta be sneaky now. Like Rangers and Rogues, basically the same thing.
I feel that. I've been in such the video game vibe. Maybe that's why Diablo was such a calling to me at this point. Like,
yeah.
I deleted so many things, make so much space. I finally deleted League off my computer.
Do you feel like a toxic weight has been lifted from your shoulders?
It's been sitting there for a long time. I haven't played it in a while. It's just been there. I do feel a little bit of a release. I am still seeing the icon on my fucking.
My roommate, when I was in the Marines before my second deployment, he played League of Legends, and he would scream at that fucking game. And I'm like, dude, you're probably playing with like 12-year-olds, man. Chill the fuck out. Dude.
That's what I got you.
Oh man, I played for years, and it's just not fun anymore. League has been losing its touch. What are you doing, Riot? Get it together.
I mean, is it even still relevant? Like, I touched it a few times in high school, and then like a couple years later, I hop back in, give it a shot. I go to play a character, then everyone's jumping down my throat about how I'm building the character while I'm playing. It's like, what y'all complaining about? I'm getting kills. We're winning. What's wrong?
People just hate to see you have fun.
Yeah.
How dare I have fun?
Fun in my League of Legends game?
Nah. That is not what we do here.
If anyone's having fun, it should be me.
Ooh, what if you ran like a MOBA style tabletop?
I think there are some. I'm not too familiar, but I feel like there are.
I don't know how it would work, but it sounds like an idea.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. Maybe could you turn WoW into like a tabletop game?
I'm sure you could.
World of Warcraft, absolutely. That's just a setting onto the whole.
WoW. Yeah, I don't know enough about WoW to say so. But
I mean, dude,
could you turn Wizard 101 into? Yeah, I think probably could.
I think you could turn anything into a tabletop. Like, World of Warcraft would be great, because then you could get like Murlocs in your setting, and Murlocs are just fun.
I feel like it would just be like magic, man. Like
Murlocs are like
perfect.
I failed terribly at that impression, but that's okay.
Just hear it in the background. Oh, that's so good.
So, Nick, how long have you been podcasting?
Oh man, I've been running D&D online for streams and YouTubes and stuff for 5 years ish. Yeah, about 5 years. And I've been my podcast. We're going on. Jesus, Jen would kill me if I didn't get this right. I think it's been a little over a year now. We've had our podcast out. Yeah.
Oh
That's
wow.
cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
Do you use Roll20 for your games?
I don't. For the game that I'm running, well, we're filming it for YouTube that I'm running right now. I use Foundry VTT.
Oh,
Ooh, I've heard good things about them.
yeah. I've been
it's
thinking about Foundry.
I compare it to like if Roll20 was Windows, Foundry is Linux, right? You gotta know how to like plug things in and set things up and do. There's more work to it on the back end, but it is very cool. Like the lighting system is, my opinion, all opinion, better than Roll20's. There's you can bring in like the community makes a bunch of mods that you can bring in and add to your games, and like I have a whole an importer for D&D Beyond. So like my players create their characters in D&D Beyond, and I can just import all that stuff over to Foundry. It's actually, and it communicates back. So yeah, I like it a lot.
I like that.
There's one for Roll20, because I mean I wouldn't mind moving over if it's an improvement.
Yeah, it's one of those things where if you have enough community involvement, odds are you're going to get more out of it because somebody's going to tell you how to do something somewhere.
Yeah,
true.
Yeah, and they've really embraced that. They've like, okay, let's make sure that's good, and what you're making is good, and then people can add it if they wish. So, but yeah, like their lighting is cool. If you like place a light on your map, you can make it like flicker and have like a dynamic lighting and set different. Really cool. Yeah, it's really really cool.
How did the maps work?
What's that?
How do the maps work?
So it's it's kind of like Roll20. You need to have some other, either you purchase like assets that you can use to make your own maps. But I use Incarnate for my maps. So I build my own maps from scratch ish. So I use Incarnate's assets to make maps, my battle maps and world maps and stuff, and then I just upload it to Foundry, and bam, I can show it to my players.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
Damn, that sounds really good. I guess, do you have to pay anything for this?
For Foundry, if I remember correctly, I do. Because
I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah.
So
I pay for a server just to host my own game, just because of my internet, or there are reasons for that. But I believe I think it's free actually. If you're able to.
Something you can purchase. It says your purchase of Foundry Virtual Tabletop provides provides a perpetual license to use the software, have access to all future updates. After purchasing, your license key will be available in your user profile, or you can also download the software to begin hosting a Foundry Virtual Tabletop server. So it says it's $50 for a software license key.
Yeah, so that's right. It's you a one-time purchase, and you have access to it. It's not like a monthly thing.
There is a demo though.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you try it before you buy it, and if you like it, okay, one-time purchase. I'm a big fan of just only having to pay for my software once.
It looks like the Foundry demo is Pathfinder 2e.
All right, that's fine. That's close enough as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. Demo world to showcase the features.
Nice.
I'll definitely check this out.
Yeah, because like Roll20 is what, like $7 a month or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
It's something like that. Like I think you can like get a cheaper thing over the course of like if you pay like a few years.
Yeah, I think free Roll20 isn't even like that bad either, but
It's not great either. It's like you're so limited on space. It's just like, why bother?
Right. Yeah, the assets you get and stuff. It's at least a little useful.
Yeah.
I like to see stuff more integrated. Like Wizards of the Coast is kind of like really hoping that they'll get more out of their new. I guess it's a tabletop online thing that they're setting up that's going to replace
VTT.
Their VTT is supposed to replace D&D Beyond. And I'm like, okay, that's all right. I'm not opposed to it. It seems neat, and for a lot of people, it'll probably be a step in the right direction. But the biggest obstacle with that is it's not going to really be compatible with other tabletops because, of course, it's Wizards, so you're only going to be able to get like what D&D.
The one, yeah,
right.
Yeah.
And D&D just doesn't cover everything. So odds are most people are going to stick with more versatile platforms. Like Roll20, very versatile. You got tons of things you can run on it. Hell, I was running a Ruby tabletop game not too long ago.
Yeah, I ran a Bloodborne one on Roll20. And then, you know.
It's just, I don't know. I think they're putting too much stock in how they're going to try to turn that into a big profitable thing. But I do think that it will work. It's just, they're just trying to monetize it in the same way that video games have been monetized. And it's like, before you know it, they're going to have a D&D, okay, you're going to run your campaign, but oh no, one of your players doesn't have a fucking battle pass.
Oh my god. One of your players didn't play their subscription this week.
Yeah. Like, I think they'll dial a lot of that back if they were planning on it after all the backlash they've had recently, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
But like you're saying, it's a one-trick pony. It does Dungeons and Dragons. That's it. You have to have a D&D Beyond, character in D&D Beyond for it to work, whatever the case may be. However, that's all going to play out. But so like Roll20, Foundry, there's a couple other websites that I can't think off the top of my head, but those are the two that I've used.
Right.
The ones where you can just, like on Foundry, they have a whole list of systems that are supported on it, and you click on that list, you start a campaign on it, and boom, you have a whole new. So if you want to play Monster of the Week 1 week, which is a great game, I suggest everybody play it. You can do that instead of playing D&D, So it's all right there for you.
I like the sound of that.
Monster of the Week is a neat little game. It's very quick. It's a 2d10 system. It's everything's kind of resolved very, very quickly. The whole idea behind it is really is the Monster of the Week. Every game that you run is a like your party is trying to fight a monster, right? It's not meant for like long campaigns. You can do that if you want to, but it's not like built around that. But it's it's just a fun game. It's super easy to play. It's way more accessible than like D&D or definitely Pathfinder or like 3.5, whatever the case may be. But the stats are really simple. The roles are really simple to resolve. It's just a fun game. It's pretty cheap. I have the 2 books it takes to play it behind me right now. They're it's not overbearing, but like the first time I played in a game, it was like an Old West setting, and we were fighting a Wendigo. So it it's just a cool like role play experience versus all the crunchy dice stuff. It's really, really cool.
Yeah, that kind of gets you right into it. The Ruby game that I was running, I think it may or may not be loosely based on that because it's also a 2d10 system where it's very kind of like, it's a single PDF. It's not even that many pages, like maybe 30 pages or so. The character creation's very kind of freeform, very simple. The rolling's very simple and straightforward. The whole thing is geared to be like not long form campaigns, like you said, just kind of a weekly. You just go at it. It's a fun little romp,
Yeah.
I like the idea of calling a campaign a romp.
Dude, just have an entire system called the Weekly Romp.
That's a good podcast name.
Yeah, just throwing out names for people. Enjoy.
Oh yeah, start your own podcast. The key is yours. You got the first step as a name.
Oh, absolutely. I guess one thing that kind of segues into on the podcast topic, Nick, with your podcast, you said earlier that you guys kind of cover a lot of things that DMs overanalyze and overthink. What would you think would be the biggest topic that you've covered, like the biggest possible thing that DMs just hyper focus on?
Yeah. It's almost the same thing every time. It's most of the people we come on, we're like, warn them, like, hey, this we talked about, let's do something else besides this kind of thing. But the biggest thing is like trying to write scenes. Like they're going to go to this tavern. They're going to start here, and then this person's going to approach them. They're going to have this conversation. The conversation is going to go this way. Then they're going to go into the forest and hunt down these goblins. And they don't account for the randomness of the players, what they are going to want to do, the curveballs that they're going to throw you. So like trying to plan out scenes, because you really can't plan out like any scene. Like
Right.
you can kind of you can a little bit but you have to plan it as like if they get to this place, then they're gonna see this thing.
Yeah, very, very loosely. Like what I kind of is like, I'll have, some of my players walk into a room, I'll write down in my notes, like, this is who is here, this is what they know, like, this is what the possibilities of them to like get out of this situation is, and then I'm just gotta leave the rest out to my
It's very rare when you can really plan scenes. Like, I've only had like one or two situations where I was able to plan a scene. One was in my previous campaign I ran, where one of the players had like lots of backstory stuff, lots of pent up things that were ready to come into the forefront. So grand reveal incoming, and all of that was triggered because they were going through this character's hometown, and she was trying to avoid meeting up with her father. And of course, the rest of the party, unaware of this, going all over the place, doing this, running errands. And wouldn't you know it, one thing leads to another, and the druid's trying to sell her dad an eighth of weed.
Nice.
He's like, the druid's like, hey, want to try some of this granddaddy perp? And I'm just like...
I feel like I know what campaign this was.
Yeah, so the one where the druid wanted to create a weed empire to save the high forest.
Yeah.
What was it called? The High Forest.
There you go.
He made part of his backstory like the weed comes from the grandfather tree.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a big sacred thing. It was a lot of fun with that. But they get to the house, and my general plan was like, okay, I'm going to have grand reveal, maybe a couple tears here and there. Mission accomplished with that. I got a couple players to cry. So.
Oh. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Make them feel emotion. Punch them right in the gut.
I'm very good at that. I've made all my players cry at some point. Not my new ones yet, but I'll get there. I'll get there.
Yeah, you got to break them in.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You will laugh. You will cry.
I think it just
Every player needs at least one character development trauma.
Yep.
to really get going.
But I think it just boils down to like new DMs and maybe even old DMs. Who knows? But like I think just DMs sometimes they want to tell a story. Mm-hmm. But their story isn't the one that the players want to tell. Mm-hmm. You got to kind of shift focus back to your players a little bit. So my world is my story. Mm-hmm. The world is going to keep moving, and like my quote unquote story is going to happen if the players don't interact with it. So like if the players are like, oh, we're going to go fuck off and do our own thing, like cool, great. The big bad's
the world moves on without you. Like
then you'll deal with the big bad once they've taken over the world, kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But they have every right to come in and break up my quote unquote story because it's not my story I'm telling. It's our story.
I know a lot of players will feel bad when they want to go, off script and they want to kind of do their own thing or do something kind of out of the box.
Yeah.
But really, at the end of the day, like, it's your story as much as it's the DM's story,
Exactly. But I guess you kind of have to have that understanding on both ends. Like, as a DM, like, I'm perfectly fine. I understand that if I create a box, y'all are going to break it. And that's just the nature of things.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's why it's important to have a session 0.
Facts.
Absolutely. Like, sometimes players are like, oh, what do you mean we missed this thing and now somebody else has done that quest and gotten the reward? Well, it's time sensitive. Sorry. World goes on without you.
Exactly.
Yep. Oh, that person you were supposed to meet the other week? Yeah, they got murdered. Like, because you didn't go to them. Like, sucks to suck. Like, I don't know.
Some
Your
people,
benefactor is dead. Like,
yeah, like some people get the impression that like it's a video game. You can just show up when you show up and just
do side quests.
No, it's sometimes the world's just going on without you, and I'm a big fan of that.
Yeah, me too.
Respectfully, you're the main characters, but you're also not the main characters. Like,
you may be the main characters, but you're not the only characters.
Yeah.
Like, how do you feel when the side characters have gone and defeated the evil demon lord while you were off fucking around with townsfolk?
Fucked around and found out.
I'd say that's pretty good there. Nick, is there anything that you kind of want to leave us with as we're closing the show here?
Have a session 0.
Have a session 0. Yes. Have a goddamn session 0 and be detailed with it. Seriously, be detailed with it. I have a whole packet I should release at some point to the public that I use for my session 0s. Yeah, man. It's set your expectations up front, not just as the DM, but as players, DMs. Listen to your players' expectations. Make sure that everyone's going to work at the same table before you start rolling dice together. Session 0s, super important. Have them. Please.
Absolutely.
Like, you'll thank us for telling you. Absolutely have them. Like, they're so important.
Yes.
Not to mention, it's good to have people make their characters together rather than just you get that one player that is like, no, I'm just going to make my character, and then they just show up and they have suspiciously high stats.
You're like, wait a minute.
Oh, I have my players all. So I actually do a group session 0 where we go over the high overarching stuff.
Right.
And then I have individual breakout session 0s where we build their characters independently from one another.
I do like that.
Yeah, we've had DMs do that in our groups in the past, and I've always really enjoyed that. Like, it's not something that I really do myself as a DM, but I always appreciate it as a player.
Yeah, it takes more time. It takes more of the DM's time. It's hard to do, but if you dedicate yourself to it, it gives your players secrets. They have their own secrets, and they can build part of the world with you, and that way when you go to that part of the world where they're from, they have knowledge of this place that the other players don't. It's a whole it's a cool thing.
I also think it's really important, during session 0 to find out what it is your players, what they want their characters to get out of this.
Yes.
What's
Motivation.
Their goal? What do they want to be? What's their reason?
Yeah, because they'll give you motivations, and I would say as a DM, you should probably require motivation and goals. Like, what are you after? What's the premise here? Like, you can bring a character to the table, but you need some sort of driving force for the character.
I feel like ultimately when I ask that question, at least it's me asking, like, why aren't you a regular person? Why are you stepping out to, combat this, situation? Why aren't you cowering in fear like anybody else?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, why aren't you a productive member of society?
Yeah, where's your farm?
Yeah. Yeah, I actually make my players give me 3 goals for their characters
that.
to accomplish. And when they accomplish those goals, they can either boost a stat or take a feat.
Ooh,
Yeah, like
I
definitely agree
really
with
like that.
You know,
Or
the,
maybe like a half feat, like a boon type situation.
Yeah.
No, it's a lot like the transformation module in the Grim Hollows books. You know, you have your milestones that could either proc you up to level up or grant you a boon, like, you know, and you kind of have to meet these goals or expectations to even like progress in this ability. You know? I think it's
Yeah, I
really
do
cool
like
to
that.
reward things like that. You know.
Yeah.
But yes, we will leave you all here with that message from
Have a goddamn session 0. I won't stop saying it.
We got to make him a stinger for that. Just session 0. Little bit of editing, make it like a really like pop, like an Alex Jones type thing. It's like,
oh god.
It's just can you imagine Alex Jones just like, they're putting chemicals in the water to give us session 0s.
There you go.
I'd pay for that.
Ryan,
All
if
right.
you will, go ahead and sign us off.
All right. And we're good. That was great, guys.
Awesome.
Don't worry, we have the little thing that we put at the end.
Oh, do
remember?
we?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
We have like a thing now. Okay.
Yeah, Fenico's been adding that in afterwards.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Nice. Very cool.
Awesome. It's been great having you on.
Well, thanks, fellas. I appreciate it.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, you too.